Hello and welcome to another video, and it's time to have a look at RGT85 and his Amico. I was going to say rant. It's not really a rant. He's just well. So I've not watched the video beyond the minute here or there. I know Darius has done a video on this. I tapped into that one briefly, but I didn't want to delve too much into seeing someone else's video about the same topic I was going to be covering. But yeah, I mean, he is right in that RGT is only just talking about this now when he's got nothing to lose by slagging off a company. Not that flicking through this he seems to particularly slag anyone off anyway. So before I wanted to talk about RGT85, I wanted to briefly touch on something else. It may seem an insignificant thing, but just something that irked me, and I didn't really know sort of how to handle it. And you have sort of only a few seconds to make a decision about something. And did you make the right decision? So basically, with I use the phone provider 3, and they call themselves that when 3G was a new thing. So by now they should be calling themselves 5. So I'll be putting this video up on the Tuesday, I think, but it was Saturday. I experienced this problem. So I went to the cinema Saturday afternoon to Cineworld in Didsbury to see Don't Worry Darling. Very, very strange film, very bizarre, very weird. It's good in parts, but really sucks in others. I'll put a full review on DVD Fever shortly. I don't really want to give too many spoilers, and if I go into spoilers in the review, I'll probably put them behind like a spoiler header so you can't accidentally see them. You can only see them if you physically click on that. And so when it comes to Cineworld with 3, you can get basically any sort of standard film ticket for £3. So they're usually about £10, sometimes even £11 for a basic film ticket. And you get if you go like for a 3D film or a 4DX or whatever, then you can get discounts on those as well. But you do that, and then afterwards I thought, right, well, I fancy a hot chocolate. And with 3, these sort of things, these offers are basically one a week, and they only work on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. At least that's for the film ticket. I don't know about the Caffe Nero thing that I'm about to talk about, but it expires on the Sunday anyway, so it's a bit of a waste of time. I'm certainly not going to get the value out of it now. So this is Saturday the 8th of October, I went to the film, saw that for £3, and then last weekend I went and did this for the first time. Got a really nice hot chocolate for a whole £1, and then I thought, hey, it's a good walk, because I like to go for walks now and again, just to it's kind of, you get to a certain age, and going for more walks has actually helped me lose weight. So that's an absolute plus with that. So I walked all the way around to, which is about sort of 15-minute walk around to Caffe Nero to get a hot chocolate. And I come across this. We are closing at 5 o'clock today due to staffing issues. Sorry for the inconvenience. Fantastic. So I walk all that bloody way, and there's nothing there. So I'll just cover a couple of, there were 3 responses on here. Brian, dirty bastards. And I said, it pissed me right off because I worked in a restaurant before. Well, a little chef, so it's almost like a restaurant. The only time we closed early was New Year's Eve because people generally had better things to do. Duckman said, short staff seems to be the flavour of the month for most shops. I would love to see a sign that says we are not short-staffed. Please come in and order something. We don't mind. I said as I passed by, I saw someone walking about inside. I guess I'd at least need 2 staff members, for security reasons. But I got there just before 6 o'clock, so how come they hadn't already left? Because if they'd shut at 5, on that occasional time, if we shut early, we'd all get ready to go on the dot. We wouldn't be hanging around there. That's the whole point of shutting early, so you can leave. So why would they still be there about an hour later? Just did not make sense whatsoever. And then Hunter Green says staffing issues. Okay, they didn't pay the employees enough, and then they went elsewhere. And I said, yeah, I worked in a restaurant. It was just intended as a brief stop between uni and a proper job, as the pay was awful. So yeah, we only got back in the day it was 93, so we only got between 93 and 95 for the main job. So we only got about £3 or £3.25 an hour on Sundays, and that was just when minimum wage was coming in. So anyway, I didn't really know what else to do, and well, I'll just go home, go back and pick up my car and then drive off home. So I just went for a little bit further walk up towards, further into Didsbury. Not that I was expecting to find anywhere else that would sell me a hot chocolate for £1 or any other drink for £1, and I wasn't really fussed about it anyway. I mean, yeah, there are some pubs that sort of do cheap drinks over the summer, but I was just going for that. I just had that, I fancy a hot chocolate after the film, and that just kind of ruined my day. And then I was walking back, I sort of walked a little bit further into Didsbury, crossed the road. I just sort of walked back, the other way, across the other side of the road, just to, see a different side of the road, basically. And then I got to a point as I was walking back, and I sort of had about 5-10 seconds to make up my mind. Ahead of me was obviously like a hen party coming the other way, and it was strange. It was a woman, well, two women dressed in Mario and Luigi costumes. Not sort of cosplay style. Not great cosplay. Not like the styles when you go to like Play Expo or something like that, where people put in the effort. These are the people who just sort of bought something off the shelf and just sort of put it on just to go down for a laugh at in the pub. There's also there's a female Mario and Luigi, and there's also a Princess Peach, who was a female, and a couple of other characters. And I just sort of thought, I sort of briefly entered cosplay or sort of Play Expo mindset, thinking I want to take a picture of them, but I'm just sort of someone, rather than being in a sort of a Play Expo, sort of a gaming expo place, and that sort of state of mindset where everyone's taking pictures of all the cosplay. This is not that situation. This is the middle of the street, and this is just going to look a bit odd. Just someone say, "Hey, can I take a picture of you? It looks fantastic." Anyway, so I just sort of, it's one of those situations. I've got 5 seconds to make up my mind. What do I do? What do I do? And I didn't. And they passed by me, and they look cool. And I just sort of instantly regretted it, thinking, oh shit, I should have taken a picture. Which I had now. And then I was sort of more about it the further I was walking away, but the further along I got towards the car, the more I was thinking, I wish I could just go back and reverse time. But even if I did go back, they'd be at the pub, and it'd all be a bit weird, and it'd be even more weird than just doing it in the middle of the street. And I've missed my chance, basically. I had one chance, and I missed it. And I don't know, I'm sort of annoyed with myself that I didn't do it. And then, I don't know, what would you be like in that situation? Would you have done it? Would you have asked them? So not in a sort of general gameplay cosplay expo kind of place where it's sort of the done thing, but you just want to but somebody it's in the middle of the street. Would you approach them and say, mind if I take a picture? I mean, they probably would have loved it, just say, hey, yeah, we're having fun, blah blah blah. But I don't know, just for a second I was just like, and yeah, I missed my chance, and it was just bloody annoying. Now as I record this, it's a Sunday, and I've it's eased off, it's lessened off a bit, but still a bit annoying. But you can't turn back the hands of time. Hey ho. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Have you ever missed your chance? Oh well. And now on to RGT85, and looking at this video now, I see I've got the same problem as with his other video about so my channel is under attack. His videos are out of sync. It's definitely not me, because I've watched a number of other videos sort of before and after, and I've not watched any more than a minute or two of this video, but it was in between this video and his last video. I watched a number of videos, and they're perfectly in sync. So there's something, so for a man with, how many has he got? Has he got 438,000 subscribers? For a man with that many subscribers, he can't be bothered to check his videos to to show that they're out of a spot, that they're out of sync. Unbelievable. Let's get on with it. I don't know how long this video will go on for, whether it'll end up going into a part 2. Excuse me, because I've gone on about the Mario mishaps and all that palaver. So I may do a bit of RGT this time, and then continue with more RGT afterwards. Will I put this video up on Monday, or will it go up on Tuesday? Who knows? I don't even know at this stage, but we'll see how we go anyway. It just depends how quickly I get things edited and sorted out. And I'm a busy man, and I'm not really. Anyway, let's go.
Today I want to tell a tale of lies, deceit, overpromising.
Well, that's RGT's channel in a nutshell.
Under-delivering, narcissism.
Yep, and more of that.
And most importantly, stealing millions of dollars from would-be consumers within the video game industry.
Well, I don't think he's done that, but he can't be bothered to have a shave, and that's almost as bad.
I, of course, am talking about the Intellivision Amico. Now, I've talked about this system before on this channel back in 2018, 2019.
This annoys me. Stop saying 2018, 2019, 2018, 2019. Just brevity. That's it. Stop going 2018, 2019. You just sound like a bloody simpleton.
I made a few videos about it. More recently on the secondary channel, which link in the description if you're not subscribed to that yet. I do.
Why do these people have a second channel? Excuse me. Why a second channel? Why don't you just put all this shit up on the first channel, on your main channel? I mean, I know Slopes, that clown. He has a second channel just so he can have stuff where he doesn't really want people to see it. He gets less. Despite his 150,000 subscribers on his main channel, I think last time I looked, he had about 8 or 10,000 on his second channel, and I've got almost 6,000 on this one. I get more hits on this than he does on his second channel. But yeah, subscribers isn't really where it's at. Watch time is where it's at. Someone on Reddit going, "Oh, your Amico video don't get many hits." Well, as I said before on another video, every Amico video I make that goes on for about sort of 50 minutes to an hour, I get over 100 watch. I was going to say 100,000, but no, I get over 100 hours of watch time, which I'm very, very happy with. I'm very, very happy people watch the videos. But to say, you don't get many hits. Yeah, there may be like 400 or 500 hits on some of them. Once they've sort of burnt out the hype and so on. But it doesn't matter because people watch loads of the video, and that all contributes to the watch time, and it's only watch time that YouTube really cares about. So, go cry.
You go live there pretty often. I made a video talking about the Amico, but I felt like maybe I didn't do the system enough justice. Maybe I didn't do the whole situation enough justice in that video, and I wanted to bring it to a bit of a wider audience. I have no idea how long this video is going to be.
So in other words, he just wanted to get some more hits out of it. Because there is hits in Amico.
But I have a lot of things to say about this. Now,
obviously not that many, because you've only spoken for like 29 minutes.
This is more or less just my impressions of everything leading up to it, because I have been following this system. People think that I only focus on, certain systems and certain platforms.
Yeah, like the Nintendo Switch, and the Nintendo Switch.
Follow a lot of video game news and a lot of video game drama.
And you regurgitate a lot of the news.
Because I find it funny. And I find the whole situation to just be really bizarre.
I find the fact you're indoors wearing a hat funny. Can't be that bloody cold.
But most importantly, I like to be well informed.
Surely your ego is giving off heat.
And I find the whole situation to just be really bizarre. But most importantly, I like to be well informed. And the Intellivision Amico isn't a system that necessarily felt like anything super different than what we had seen with other retro revivals from companies. Of course, you've had things like the Atari VCS, which I was very critical of. The system actually did come out somehow, some way, but when's the last time you heard about it? When's the last time you've heard anyone being excited for it? Like, yeah, I think
they're still making games, but I mentioned a while ago, yeah, I mean, it's not many people still using it. As far as I know in America, there's lots of places. People would have paid about $400 for this thing plus shipping originally, and when it goes, in America, because you can't get it in the UK directly, not without importing it. But in America, there's been like, I forget which stores, they've been selling them for like $100. I mean, I would certainly buy it at $100 just for shits and giggles. But yeah, I can't buy it for $100, and I'd end up having to pay that plus import duty and all the rest of it. Yeah, but it's dead in the water. It's just a sort of fan thing now. And anyone who'd made games for, as I said before, what was it, I forget what the name of the game was that Yanni Pentinen did, but he made a game for the Atari VCS, and then I think either Atari were causing problems trying to get it on the VCS, any sort of further games or updates, or people just weren't buying them anymore on the VCS. So he decided to ditch the VCS and make games for like Switch and Steam where people would actually buy them.
Nice.
Oh, I can't blame him.
This little device that it's kind of just like a mobile PC, but as far as an actual video game console,
It's a mobile chip inside a PC. Mobile, not mobile.
is concerned, it hasn't done anything within the video game landscape. But even going further back, this channel was honestly started, people ask me all the time, what's the name? What does RGT mean? Is that your initials? And it's like, my name is Sean, so I don't
Retro gaming twat, born in 1985.
see how that's my initials, but it's Retro Gaming Tube, because at the
Retro gaming tool. Oh, tube. Okay, I thought it was twat.
time, retro gaming was a very popular thing, and it was having this sort of resurgence back in 2015/2016 with consoles, things like the Retro VGS, which of course became the Coleco Chameleon. And honestly, I got kind of burned by that thing. I talked very highly about the Retro VGS because it was a product that I was interested in. I liked the whole fact of making, new old games and having a new system to play these new old games. And
These new old games, new old games. That's how RGT works. He just repeats the same words over and over, so they'll get picked up by the algorithm, because YouTube picks up on things that you say in videos, not just the visuals, and it will analyze all that, and it will just, if you say the same words a lot of times, it will pick up on that and promote your video more. So if there's I think it was Smash JT who pointed this out. There's a guy who's making a video about Fall Guys, and he said, "Hey guys, Fall Guys, Fall Guys." He kept saying Fall Guys all the time, and that's how YouTube picked up the video and pushed it and just promoted it.
The potential of the system, the potential future of the system. I was a bit naive to how a lot of these companies.
Where's my Coleco comedian? Coleco. It's Coleco, not Coleco. Where's my comedian anyway? I'm still waiting. Come on, Phil Adams. Give me my comedian.
Worked because of the fact that, up until that time, I'd focused primarily on bigger companies. I didn't really understand all these upstart companies. I just would take their word at face value.
Well, that just makes you look even more of a bloody simpleton, quite frankly.
Of course, the Retro VGS/Coleco Chameleon ended up becoming just a horrible thing that never came to fruition. This, that, and the other. There's tons of videos on YouTube that delve into that history.
And you could have made one as well, but obviously you've missed the boat on that one.
And I suggest you check them out. But with that, I learned something from that whole experience. I learned that, hey, a lot of these people, they don't have good intentions. A lot of these people are not real people. They're trying to make money. They're just trying to scam people.
But the real people in that they're flesh and blood. They're just cunts, basically. Tommy Talarico is a cunt.
And they're trying to overpromise and underdeliver, which I think is a perfect moniker for the Intellivision Amico. Now, like I said, I've talked about the Amico before on this channel, and honestly, some of it was pretty positive. Let me be real with you guys.
That'd be a first.
Back in 2018, when the Intellivision Amico first was announced, and they first did this trailer for the system, I was on board with this. I thought it was an interesting enough idea for several different reasons. The main reasons being it was, budget priced, $150 to $170. Okay, that seems like a decent price for kind of a niche console. But I think the thing that really drew me in was the announcement of all these supposed retro IPs, games like R-Type, that were supposed to be coming to the Intellivision Amico as exclusive games that could only be played on the Amico because of licensing issues. And this was going to be like a home...
Right. Well, there were licensing issues. They just didn't license any games.
Home for new old games. And at my core, at my heart, I'm still a retro gamer. That's why I have so many retro games
That's why I make so many videos about Nintendo eShop sales
surrounding me, because those are the games I grew up with. So initially I thought this wasn't a bad idea. There were some interesting things, some potential red flags, like every game is going to be a good game, it's going to be curated, this, that, and the other, whatever. I was just taking the information.
I mean, curated just means someone's picked it. It's like how Twitter curates the trending topics. It's not really what's trending. They just put the topics there that they want to promote, basically. So if there's anything pro-Trump, they'll hide that, even if it's trending, technically trend or literally trending. They will hide that so you don't think it's trending. Whereas if Joe Biden says something, they'll happily promote that to the hills.
At face value, because that's all you can do with this. That's all you can do with something like this. We, of course, learned people that were involved in the Intellivision Amico, and it was kind of a who's who of gaming, I guess maybe royalty, you would say, or people who have succeeded.
Bastards, basically.
In video games. People like Tommy Talarico, people like David Perry, the vice president of marketing for Nintendo during the Wii era. So there was a lot of reason to believe, okay, maybe this will work out. They're not.
God, the more he talks, the more he sounds like Chris Griffin from Family Guy. In case anyone doesn't know, who's Chris Griffin?
Not crowdfunding this or anything like that. It's going to be built on their own backs, and things like that kind of instill a bit more confidence in me, because when you look at crowdfunding for video game systems and video games themselves throughout the years, there's been a lot of people that have been burned by crowdfunding. I no longer crowdfund anything unless I know the person directly. If I know the person directly and I could send them a message on a platform.
I mean, I've bought a few crowdfunded things. I bought a few books and stuff to do with retro gaming, and they carry on making these retro gaming books and what's it, and people still buy them and so on. But what I did realise with all that is that I buy them and they pretty much just sit on a shelf. I never get around to actually reading them properly, so I've just stopped bothering with those now.
And get a timely response, then I'll check it out. If it's a friend or something, okay, whatever, I'll throw you some money. But these companies, I've definitely grown more leery.
There was a young man called... There was a young man called Enos. Oh, I can't finish that one.
Of them, I've definitely grown more.
Thank you to Krusty the Clown for that one.
Cynical. Of course, then it was announced that Earthworm Jim was coming back, and Earthworm Jim 4 was going to be a game exclusive for the Intellivision Amico, and it's like, okay.
He looks a bit like Talarico, David Perry. I had no idea who David Perry was. I thought it was Dave Perry, the guy who was on Games Master, that does Games Animal TV, that Dave Perry. But there's more than one Dave Perry. It's not like Highlander at all. There can be more than one.
You're starting to put your money where your mouth is. This is a big deal. People today don't care about Earthworm Jim, probably. Yeah, but if you're my age, if you're in your mid 30s to like mid 40s.
No, I wonder how old RGT is. Excuse me. I'm going to say he's breached 40.
You probably remember playing Earthworm Jim for your Sega Genesis, because that was the superior version of the game, and being like, this is a fun game. The level design is creative. The character himself is funny. Earthworm Jim as a character was a big character. There was toy lines, there was cartoons and stuff like that. So I liked hearing that. I was excited for it. But I think the Earthworm Jim situation was one of the first major red flags with the Amico, because they showed off this Earthworm Jim thing, and it was literally, it looked like a Flash game. Like, let's just be real here.
Even still, they promoted it like it was something that was really coming out, and so that's 6 people on screen at the moment. I don't know who all of them are. Obviously, Tommy, top middle. Looks like the David Perry, bottom left. No idea who the other guys are, but they're all complicit in the scam. They're all complicit in the scam. If they were in that video, then they were clearly not had any intention of making Earthworm Jim 4, and they should all be in the dock getting arrested for this shit. Okay, so by the time you end up in the dock in court, you don't get arrested at that point. You've been arrested before, so you end up then going into court. But you get the idea. They should all be up before the beak to be thrown in the clink and never see daylight again.
The artistic style of the game, the fact that it was like 10 seconds long and just like this little small area, it didn't show any actual gameplay. That was one of the big red flags for me with the Amico. I was excited to see it, but it was like, I need to see more of this, and I need to see more of this soon. And then enter pretty much the end of my coverage for the Amico on this channel, because everything that happened after that, I feel was just, it was just the downfall.
And you didn't want to cover the downfall because you didn't want to you didn't want to get on the wrong side of anyone in the video game industry. You didn't want to be true to your fans, true to your viewers, because you're just a panhandler
Of this system. The Intellivision Amico technically wasn't a crowd.
That's a weird cut.
Fall of this system. The Intelli.
See, this is it. RGT can't even be bothered to sort out his own bloody edits on his videos. He's lazy. His voice is out of sync, and his bloody his editing is just shit. Let's still hear that one again.
It was just the downfall of this system. The Intellivision Amico.
Oh, good lord.
It was just the downfall of this system. The Intellivision Amico technically wasn't a crowd-funded thing, but it was an investor-funded thing. Over on Republic.co, which is a platform that does things like this, the Intellivision Amico, here it is. Oh, we raised nearly $12 million from 9,400 people. And it's not more so about, pre-ordering your console or something like that. It's about giving money into this, a minimum investment of $1,000, maximum of $1 million. These are our goals. I
wonder if anyone did put $1 million in, apart from Sudesh Agarwal, the man who wanted 100, who put it into the contract that for every Amico sold, he would get $100. What a joke.
That and the other. Oh, you get shares. You get shares in the company. Oh, we have over $25 million in purchase and pre-orders. Bullshit. No, you don't. You do not have any of that. And we'll talk about where some of this money came from in just a bit. Over 100,000 units pre-sold to fans and retailers. Where are they? Whatever happened with those things? Partnerships with MLB, Hot Wheels, Sesame Street.
That was all lies as well. Care Bears. I remember OEB Pete going, Care Bears.
Care Bears and more. And it's like, you just licensed these things. You got a license from Mattel. They're not working directly with you.
They didn't even get the licenses.
You just got control of a license, extensive game library, including remade fan favorites, this, that, and the other.
Well, back in the day, Intellivision had a extensive game library, but about 125 games, I think. But this is not the original Intellivision. Well, in fact, Intellivision was just the name of the console. Mattel was the name of the company.
And it's like, well, why are we talking about money? I thought this was going to be something that we were just going to get a product. A product was going to become available to this, and you didn't need anyone's money. Enter in the rise of Tommy Talarico. Now, I have talked to Tommy Talarico before privately. Tommy Talarico is an
I bet you won't spill the beans, will you?
Interesting individual. He's someone who's very passionate. He believes in his product.
No. He's just a fucking straight up con man. He's a cunt. Tommy Talarico is a cunt.
Believes in what he's doing. Okay, that's great. You have to have confidence in what you're doing. You have to have confidence in what you're bringing to the marketplace. But Tommy decided to do probably one of the most interesting marketing schemes. And this is not including all of the delays that went with the Amico, because there were so many set dates set in stone, that never came to fruition. We'll talk about those in
Wonder why.
a minute. But Tommy Talarico was pretty much, I guess by default, the spokesperson for this, the person that was doing all the PR runs. And Atari Age was kind of his home, the Atari Age message forums, where he would have a thread there, and he would give updates within this thread. Tommy decided to do the interview circuit, an interview with YouTubers of varying sizes and stuff like that. Some people played his game, some people didn't. Tommy and I did have personal conversations. We had private conversations. He once sent me an Intellivision Amico shirt back in like 2018, 2019, something like that.
They never sent me a shirt. I got more subscribers than DJC. I don't have that shirt.
Because I was still interested in the product, but Tommy always wanted me to interview him. And at that time, I just didn't see it as a fruitful thing, because what is there really to talk about?
Because you just sense his bullshit, but we're playing along.
You know, he's doing these interviews, and these interviews almost feel like he's reading from a script, you know, using the same sort of
No, really?
you know, puns and analyses from stream to stream. It was a very strange thing. And as time went on, the bigger channels stopped talking about the Amico because it was delayed. There was this, that, and the other. There was these red flags. The games, they started to show some of the games here, and they weren't games that anyone wanted. Cornhole, Shark, games that look like a college student learning game development created them.
Which was it? Oh god, it made the game. Yeah, not. I was gonna say Goose. It wasn't Goose. Oh god, my brain's gone. It's Sunday morning as I record this now. Gatooroos. That was it. Yeah, all the games he made that he made in a day, just based on Astro Smash, Shark, and skiing. And he made his games in a day and gave them away for free. And they were far better than anything could come out for the Amico.
Over a weekend. Now, there was, you know, games like Breakout. I thought the Breakout game looked okay. But most of these games looked horrible. They just looked horrible. They didn't look like system sellers. And when you have a brand new system coming to the market, you need something that's going to be a system seller. So once the big dogs stopped messing with Tommy, Tommy went and started talking to smaller YouTube channels. And that's pretty much where this Intellivision Amico cult comes from. And I think I can understand why these people were so passionate. Some of them still are passionate about the Amico. I think I can understand why these channels, you know, dedicated themselves to the Amico and would defend it for its honor and stuff like that. Because Tommy essentially took advantage of these people. And what do I mean by that? These were small channels. These were channels.
He just realised they could be easy led. And he preyed on them. He was a groomer, basically. I've been through the whole situation well, not the whole situation. I've touched upon what happened with myself and Mark Pollard. Maybe I'll put a link to that in the video description. That's on my website. If I forget, look up DVD Fever. Look up Mark Pollard. Mark Pollard Thistle Comedy. Thistle is in the Scottish Thistle. So Mark Pollard Thistle Comedy. You'll see my post on my DVD Fever website. I could make a video going into detail about all that, but because that did not involve the Amico, no one would be watching it, so there's no real point. I'll just sort of mention it here, and then you can go and have a look at the link if that's of interest. But yeah, he was also a groomer and a con man, so I get it, but it doesn't make the groomer any less of an absolute cunt.
In the big sea of YouTube video games that didn't have an identity. They didn't have, you know, a clear course or anything like that. So Tommy would befriend these people. Tommy would become friends with these people and always show up in their streams and donate to them. And whenever they would make a video talking about the Amico, he would use them as pretty much free PR, thinking that the Amico itself was going to generate enough interest that people would be interested in it and these channels would potentially explode.
Tommy didn't care if they would explode. He just wanted to manipulate people because he's a cunt.
Do events for the Amico that were at literally these people's houses. Tommy would go to their houses and they would have meetups and things like that. Did
he? I thought he only went to one and ended up in their basement. Was it Retro Bros' basement? Pretty scary anyway.
Intellivision Amico started to hit the PR tour, but there was one problem with this system is whenever you would question anything, whenever you would question something, whether it was an innocent question or not, Tommy himself would take it very personally. Tommy himself would essentially fly off the hinges with stuff like this. He couldn't take the criticisms. He couldn't take the hard-hitting questions. He just wanted to sort of field these questions that, you know, from people that were excited about the product, not people who were, you know, actually wanting to get to the root of this system. And I think that was a huge problem because his ego, his narcissism was pretty much the downfall of any sort of positive marketing for this system. He came up with terms like gaming racists because people weren't interested in the system or they didn't believe.
He was just leading people astray rather, because it's all part of grooming. That's all it is.
And the system or something like that. He dead ass said that. And it's like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? I am someone
Because he's a fucking lunatic
who hates when people calls everything an ist or an ism, because it actually devalues the words. It devalues the meaning of the words. And when something is an ist or someone is being an ism or something like that, we've devalued these words so much and just, you know, thrown them at people who don't deserve these tags that the words no longer have the meaning behind them. You know, you just want to group people together. So that was interesting. Gaming racists. And Tommy himself would just, if you questioned anything, if you tried to, you know, poke a hole in his logic, he would just turn it around on you. He would play the victim. And you can't do that. We're not talking about something small here. We're talking about something that you're wanting to put in GameStop. We're talking about you wanting to be in the same marketplace as Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony in the video game home console landscape. When you look at the Intellivision Amico, you know, it was a weird system because it's obviously based on nostalgia. It's obviously based on things like physical goods, but the system itself was not a physical goods system. You could get these little cards.
Well, we were told it would be a physical goods system, and that Tommy said that. Well, Tommy said a lot of things, but Tommy said that you could just put you get an SD card for the game, and there'll be an SD card slot on the back of the machine, and you could just put the card in the slot, and bingo, there's your game. But yeah, I say Tommy said a lot of things, and it was all bullshit.